Hello, and welcome to my Modlist showcase, where I give an overview and opinion on mod lists to help find the right one for you. Except this is sort of a Modlist showcase mini, where I'm revisiting a mod list to give a general idea of how it's changed. So, the Aminichlori visual overhaul, which I'm just going to call AVO, is by Ulthro, and released for Skyrim Anniversary Edition. The version I showcased last time was version 1.4.1, released on the 8th of May 2022. Whereas now I'm taking a look at the AVO Next Generation update, released in April of 2023. How time flies. Like before, AVO is one of the most vanilla lists available, where it's designed to be a base for your own mod list, featuring graphical enhancements, mandatory bug fixes, tweaks, patching, and everything that makes it perfect as a base to build upon. I'm treating this video like a little add-on to the full showcase, so the categories will be much more brief, and I'll be talking about what's new, rather than again describing the list as a whole. AVO is available to download from the Wabberjack Modlist installer. Clear instructions are provided on the README, and you can take a look at my Wabberjack explanation guide video if you want to know the basics. Anyway, with near 900 mods, you'll need about 150GB of storage to download. And once in game, all of the mod menus are already configured, so you just click play and get to it. As for performance, the list requires a little more power compared to when I last reviewed it, but it still runs impressively well. With these specs here, I was able to hold a consistent 60fps at 1440p, and by the time you're watching this video, there'll probably be people in the list Discord talking about their PC specs and how it runs, so maybe take a look on there if you're unsure. And it's worth remembering that you can turn down the shadow resolution by using the Bethany tool provided, if you need to squeeze out a little extra performance. As for how stable this list is, it includes all the same fixes as before, plus a bunch of newer ones that have released since. And with the focus only being on looks and performance, it's easily one of the most stable lists out there, and provides a perfect canvas to add your own mods upon. Since I last checked out this mod list, the hot new thing with Skyrim modding has been parallax, where some wizardry is used to make textures appear 3D rather than just a flat surface. And so, the Septentrional Landscapes mod has been removed, in favour for Majestic Landscapes, which adds new parallax textures across the entire wilderness, and it's paired with mods like Parallax Spell Impact, Majestic Mountains, and Alestros Whiterun, all of which adding new 2K, 4K, or even 8K textures. As for the flora, Happy Little Trees is still the go-to tree mod, although now there's even more, with high-detailed shrubs and fallen logs scattered about. And the grass mod is now Fantastic Grasses and Where to Find Them, which is one I actually hadn't heard about before, but it's great. It combines assets from a number of popular grass mods into a single bundle that fits perfectly with Skyrim's aesthetic. Plus the entire cathedral plant collection is included, which covers all the plants like thistles, tundra cotton, thickets, and so on. This side of the list has undergone quite a few changes. First up is weather, where the list now uses the Soulless mod. It's a lesser known weather mod compared to Obsidian weathers and such, but it still reaches the same level of quality. I found it has a good blend of realistic and fantasy, where most days it leans towards the more muted weathers of vanilla, but then suddenly you could be hit with an incredibly vibrant sky that feels worthy of a screenshot. As for the lighting and ENB, the Lux mod still does much of the heavy lifting with modernising the game's lighting, but the ENB has been swapped out for EVC ENB, which is tailored to work for the lighting and weather mod, and again has that middle blend of realism and fantasy. But of course, if you want to swap it out, the ENB manager is still there to make testing different ENBs as easy as possible. And finally, the last huge change is the Upscaler mod. Basically, once you're in-game, you need to hit the end key and enable DLAA. It's a form of anti-aliasing that makes the game sharper, with, for me at least, no impact to performance. Although you should remember that if you don't have an Nvidia GPU, you'll need to set it to TAA instead. For some other notable changes, the great looking Natural Waterfalls mod is added, which made it into my top 5 mods video of the month. You might want to watch that, poke poke. A huge amount of NPC overhauls have them looking more natural, but they still stick to their vanilla design. The UI uses More HUD, Sky HUD, Dear Diary Dark Mode, and A Matter of Time, plus the HUD can be toggled on and off with a single button. Weapons and armours have new retextures, so many that it would take me all day to name them. And finally, Creation Club content looks better and has been made to fit more naturally into the world. As an example, the Ghost of the Tribunal quest usually adds NPCs with incredibly generic voice lines plucked from other characters, but the voice narrative mod gives them new greetings that are much more personalised, which were made using AI voice lines. And while this does enter the list into the new content territory, I think it's appropriate because some of the default Creation Club stuff cuts corners and it can be rather distracting. When I reviewed AVO a year ago, it was already one of the best mod lists available, and not only has that not changed, but now the list looks even better. There's a very delicate balance between offering modernised graphics and keeping the performance playable on mid-ranged hardware, and AVO manages to get it just right. There are so many huge gameplay changing lists out there that sometimes it's nice to go back to basics, and simply play a better looking version of the game's original release. Or re-release. Well, actually it's the anniversary edition, so it's the re-release. Anyway, you get the point. Plus it's just so handy to build your own list upon, which I actually did about a year ago. Plus all my top 5 videos are made using AVO, so yeah, it's just really easy to work with. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like, as it helps the channel grow. And a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, Michael Mello, Ryan Dillon, Biggie Boss, Tyler Pullin, Janice, Jake Carlo, Dweezil P. Pants, Alec Bentley, Jack Ma, and Christian Howell. It's just such a huge help. Like scripting, recording, and editing these videos does take a long time, and all these contributions means I don't have to rush out these videos at a lesser quality. And I also have a Ko-fi account if you want to give a little one-time donation, and I have a Discord if you want to talk about mod stuff or anything else. But yeah, thank you everyone, and farewell.